Welcome, seekers of joy and peace. Today we're going to explore the profound and enduring spiritual paths to happiness. Happiness is a state of being that we all strive for, yet it often eludes even the wisest among us. But fear not, for there are time-tested ways that can lead us to the contentment we seek. The first lesson in our quest for happiness is the art of presence. To be present is to fully engage with the here and now. It's about letting go of the past and the future, and immersing oneself in the current moment. Often, our minds are cluttered with thoughts that pull us backward or push us forward in time. We ruminate on what has been or worry about what's to come. But ask this: can we truly be happy if we're never truly here? Being present requires practice. It's akin to training a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Every moment offers an opportunity to strengthen our presence. When you eat, taste every bite. When you walk, feel the earth beneath your feet. When you listen, hear every nuance in the sound. It's in these details that the beauty of life is revealed. And in this beauty, happiness begins to take root. Our emotions are often tied to our sense of time. Regret and nostalgia link us to the past, while anxiety and anticipation pull us into the future. But joy lives in the present. It's the laughter of a child, the warmth of the sun, the comfort of a gentle breeze. When we anchor ourselves in the present, we open the door to a happiness that isn't contingent on what has been or what will be, but rather what is. Moreover, presence allows us to connect deeply with ourselves and the world around us. We become attuned to the subtleties of our own emotions and the needs of others. We listen to the unspoken words of a friend. We notice when someone needs a smile, and we become a source of joy not only for ourselves but for those around us. Now, you might wonder how one can remain present amidst the chaos of daily life. It begins with the breath. The simple act of breathing, something we do without thought, can become a powerful tool for cultivating presence. By focusing on the breath, we anchor ourselves. We notice the inhalation, the pause that follows, the exhalation, and the space before the next breath. Each cycle is a reminder that we are here, we are alive, and in this life, there is the potential for happiness. In this world of constant connectivity and unending to-do lists, being present is a rebellion against the societal push to always do more, to always think ahead. It's a quiet revolution that starts within each of us. The benefits of this revolution are profound. Not only does presence bring happiness, it also enhances our creativity and productivity. When we are fully engaged with the task at hand, we bring our best selves to it, and the quality of our work increases. But being present is only the beginning. True happiness also requires us to cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is the recognition of the good that is already ours. When we focus on our blessings, on the abundance that fills our lives, we shift our perspective from one of lack to one of plenty. It's easy to overlook the everyday miracles when we're chasing after an elusive tomorrow or mourning a past that is gone. Gratitude isn't just about saying thank you when something good happens. It's about maintaining a state of thankfulness, even when circumstances aren't ideal. It's about seeing the growth in our challenges, the potential in our failures, and the beauty in our everyday. Have you ever noticed how gratitude changes not only your mood, but also the mood of those around you? It's contagious, in the best possible way. One way to cultivate gratitude is through a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They can be as simple as a delicious meal or as significant as the love of a friend. What you'll find over time is that this practice doesn't just change your journal, it changes your mindset. You begin to look for things to be grateful for, and in doing so, you find more and more of them. This is the law of attraction at work. What we focus on expands. Gratitude also opens the door to generosity. When we feel grateful for what we have, we are more inclined to share it with others. This generosity doesn't have to be material. It can be a kind word, a listening ear, or a helping hand. Generosity creates a circle of happiness that flows from us and returns to us in ways we might not expect. In this first part of our journey towards happiness, we have explored the importance of being present and cultivating gratitude. These practices set the foundation for a life of contentment. They remind us that happiness is not found in the distant reaches of time, but right here, in the lives we are living at this very moment. It is in the small things, the daily rituals, the quiet moments of reflection, that we often find the deepest joy. Harmonious acceptance, the art of embracing life's symphony. Continuing on, let us consider the second lesson on our spiritual path to happiness, the practice of acceptance. Acceptance is the quiet sister of presence, often overlooked, yet equally powerful. To accept is to acknowledge the reality of this moment and our current circumstances without resistance or denial. It's recognizing that some things are beyond our control and choosing peace over struggle. Why is acceptance so crucial to happiness? Because resistance to what is creates a constant undercurrent of tension and discontent. When we resist, we are in a state of conflict with reality, and this conflict drains us of energy, peace, and ultimately, happiness. Acceptance, on the other hand, releases us from this struggle. It allows us to conserve our energy and direct it towards areas of our life where we can make a positive impact. Consider the serenity that acceptance can bring. Imagine facing a stormy sea. You can shout at the waves to stop, but they will keep coming. Acceptance is building a boat to sail these waters, not trying to stop the ocean itself. It's understanding that the storm is part of your journey, not the enemy of it. This is not to say that acceptance is complacency. In fact, it is quite the opposite. Acceptance is a dynamic state that requires us to be fully engaged with reality. From this engagement comes the wisdom to know when to act and when to let go. It's recognizing that our power lies not in controlling everything around us, but in controlling our response to it. How, then, do we cultivate acceptance? It begins with mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment. It's acknowledging our emotions, our reactions, and our thoughts as they arise, and simply letting them be. This doesn't mean we don't strive to improve our situation, but it means we do so from a place of understanding rather than frustration. Another aspect of acceptance is self-compassion. Many of us are our own harshest critics. We berate ourselves for our perceived failures and shortcomings. Self-compassion is the radical act of treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a good friend. It's recognizing that we are all works in progress and that making mistakes is a part of being human. When we embrace ourselves with compassion, we open ourselves up to happiness. But acceptance and self-compassion aren't just about how we treat ourselves. They also transform our interactions with others. When we accept people as they are, without trying to change them, our relationships deepen. We create space for authentic connections. When we approach others with compassion, we foster an environment of mutual respect and understanding. This leads to more meaningful and satisfying relationships, which are a cornerstone of happiness. Now we arrive at a profound question. In what areas of your life are you resisting what is? Reflect on this. Is there a situation or a person that you're struggling against? Imagine for a moment what it would feel like to let go of that struggle, to accept things as they are, and to respond with compassion. Imagine the peace that could bring to your life. As we conclude this second part of our exploration, remember that acceptance and self-compassion are not signs of weakness. They are strengths that lead us to a more peaceful and happy existence. By embracing these practices, we equip ourselves to navigate life's challenges with grace and to find contentment in the face of adversity. Now, let us move to the third lesson in our spiritual quest for happiness, which involves the nurturing of our connections. Happiness is not just an individual pursuit. It is deeply intertwined with our relationships and our sense of community. The harmony of connection, weaving the fabric of collective joy. In this third part of our discourse on the spiritual journey to happiness, we turn our attention to the harmony of connection. Our relationships with others are not just social conveniences. They are the threads that weave the fabric of our shared human experience. True happiness often blooms in the garden of community, where we nurture and are nurtured by the connections we have with others. The pursuit of happiness is sometimes mistakenly seen as a solitary endeavor, a personal quest that one embarks upon alone. However, the wisdom of ages tells us that our joy is amplified through our bonds with others. The laughter shared with a friend, the comfort provided by a loved one, and the satisfaction of contributing to the well-being of our community are all quintessential elements of happiness. Let's consider the role of empathy in our connections. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. It is a bridge that connects our hearts and allows us to experience life from another person's perspective. When we empathize, we create a space for genuine understanding and compassion. This shared emotional landscape is where trust is built and where the seeds of happiness are sown. Empathy also leads us to acts of kindness. Kindness is a universal language that transcends cultural and social boundaries. It is an expression of our shared humanity. When we are kind, we affirm the value of others, and in turn, we affirm our own value. The act of giving without the expectation of something in return is one of the purest forms of happiness. It creates a ripple effect, touching lives in ways we may never fully comprehend. How, then, do we cultivate empathy and kindness? It begins with listening. Truly listening to another person is an act of love. It says, "You matter. Your experiences and feelings are important." It is through attentive listening that we gain insights into the hearts of others, and from these insights, empathy grows. Another pathway to connection is through vulnerability. To be vulnerable is to let down our guards and share our truths. It's about being honest about our feelings, our fears, and our desires. Vulnerability is often seen as a risk, but it is also an invitation for others to be authentic with us. In this shared vulnerability, we find a deep sense of belonging and an intrinsic form of happiness that comes from being understood and accepted. Let's now turn our gaze inward and consider the relationship we have with ourselves. The connection with self is the most enduring relationship we will ever have. How we treat ourselves influences how we interact with the world. When we are kind to ourselves, when we honor our own needs and dreams, we are better equipped to engage with others in meaningful ways. Self-care is not selfish. It is essential. It is the well from which we draw the energy to be present for others. Whether it's taking time for a hobby we love, getting enough rest, or simply speaking to ourselves with compassion, self-care is a vital component of happiness. When we are fulfilled internally, we have more to offer externally. Now, a question arises, one that touches the core of our being. How are your relationships reflecting the care you have for yourself? Are you nurturing the connections that bring you joy and letting go of those that drain your spirit? The answers to these questions can guide us toward a happier, more balanced life. As we draw this third part to a close, remember that the harmony of connection is not just about being there for others. It's also about allowing others to be there for us. It's a dance of give and take, of sharing and receiving. In the embrace of our community, be it family, friends, or society at large, we find a support system that can carry us through life's highs and lows. The web of connections that we are part of is a source of strength and happiness. By investing in these relationships and in the connection with ourselves, we build a life rich with love and joy. This is the essence of the harmony of connection. With the threads of connection now interwoven in our discussion, we will soon venture into the fourth and final part of our spiritual exploration. But before we do, take a moment to reflect on the relationships in your life. Consider the joy that arises from these connections, and let that joy be a guiding light as we continue our journey. The apex of attainment, embracing the euphony of enlightenment. As we approach the zenith of our introspective voyage, we are called to contemplate the final, most transcendent element of our quest for fulfillment. The apex of attainment is not a destination, but a state of being, a moment of clarity where we embrace the euphony of enlightenment and understand the essence of our true self. In this concluding part, we delve into the profound realization that happiness is not merely an emotion to be pursued. It is a profound understanding to be realized and a wisdom to be embodied. Happiness, in its most elevated form, is the peace that comes from enlightenment, an illumination of the spirit that transcends the fleeting nature of temporal joys. To reach the apex of attainment, we must first acknowledge that enlightenment is a journey inward, a peeling away of the layers that obscure our inner truth. It is the ultimate act of introspection, where we come to terms with who we are, our place in the universe, and the interconnectedness of all things. This journey requires us to confront our deepest fears, to challenge our long-held beliefs, and to question the very nature of reality. It is a path less trodden, for it demands courage and resilience. Yet, those who undertake this journey discover a freedom that is absolute, a liberation from the shackles of desire, fear, and ignorance. The essence of enlightenment lies in the realization that the self is an illusion, a construct of our mind and ego. The true self, the enlightened self, is a part of a greater whole, a drop in the vast ocean of consciousness. It is the understanding that our individual joys and sorrows are but ripples on the surface of a deeper, universal experience of existence. In this state of heightened awareness, happiness takes on a new dimension. It is no longer conditional on external circumstances or internal emotions. Instead, it is a steady, unshakable contentment, a serene acceptance of all that is. It is the joy of being, pure and simple. The path to enlightenment is illuminated by the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being fully present in the moment, of observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment. It is in this space of awareness that we can see the impermanence of our experiences and the interconnectedness of life. Mindfulness cultivates a compassionate heart, one that is open to the suffering and joy of others, recognizing them as our own. Another beacon on this path is meditation. Through meditation, we quiet the mind and connect with the silence that lies beneath the noise of everyday life. It is in this silence that we can hear the whispers of our true self, guiding us toward enlightenment. Meditation is not an escape from reality, but a deeper engagement with it, a way to harmonize our inner world with the outer one. As we embrace the teachings of enlightened beings and sages throughout history, we find ourselves part of a timeless tradition of seekers. The wisdom they imparted is as relevant now as it was centuries ago. It speaks of the unity of existence, the transient nature of the material world, and the eternal nature of the spirit. The apex of attainment, therefore, is not a summit conquered, but a realization embraced. It is the culmination of our spiritual exploration and the beginning of a new chapter in our journey. Here, Happiness is not a fleeting pleasure, but an enduring state of being. In this exalted state, we live with a profound sense of gratitude, a boundless love for all beings, and a deep appreciation for the miracle of life. We become conduits of peace, sources of wisdom, and embodiments of joy. Our lives, once centered around the pursuit of individual happiness, now radiate the light of collective enlightenment. As we draw the curtain on this exploration, let us carry forward the lessons learned, the connections cherished, and the wisdom gained. May the apex of attainment not be the end, but a beacon that continues to guide us through the uncharted waters of life's journey. And now, dear seeker, with your heart attuned to the symphony of the cosmos, step forth with grace into the world. May the euphony of enlightenment be your companion, and may the radiance of your spirit illuminate the path for others. The journey continues, for it is eternal, as are the joy and love that bloom from the enlightened heart.